All right, we're going to move on to a new concept, some new syntax in Python, and this is going to help us with automating the file closing. So we're going to use some new syntax to open and close the file. This is actually the preferred way of opening and closing files. So you're really not going to ever be just using open like we did before with f equals open file name and then f dot close. What you're going to be doing is using this with statement. So it looks like this. It's just a generic with statement, not exact Python code. So what happens is you're going to say with open file name as f. So this is like assigning the file object to f. And then there'll be a colon, which should, in your brain, should signify that there's an upcoming code block. So you're going to indent the next line. And then you're just going to process the file. And it's going to be as many lines as you want. So just like an if statement or a for loop, while loop, those all have code blocks. Those code blocks can be any number of lines of code. Here I just have one line of code, but you'll just process the file in here. And then when the program returns, when the code returns to the outside of the code block, that means normal Python code as continuing, the file will be closed automatically. So you never have to write the close method. So this ensures that the file will always be closed. This is really nice. So it automates the process of opening, and really file closing is what it really does. So you don't have to remember to close the file. It'll just happen automatically for you. Okay, so let me show you how this is going to work with our baseball file. So you just do with open baseball1.txt as f, then colon, and then here we're going to process the file. So we can read in the content, and we'll just print it out to the screen so that we can see it. And then, as the program continues, we just exit out of the code block, and now we're no longer underneath this with statement. We're not in this code block. We can just do anything else. If we try to read in over here, we will get an error, but we can just go ahead and verify that the file is indeed closed, like this, just accessing the closed attribute. So let's go ahead and run this. So it opened the file, assigned it to f. We called f.read, which reads in the entire file as a string. Then we printed out that string like this. So this is what happened there. And then we just outputted the closed attribute, and that is true. So this verifies that it is true. So the old way, let me just do the entire old way. So we just have open baseball.txt. So we just use an assignment statement. We don't use an as. There's no with statement. And then we just read it in like this, and we'll just print it out like this. And then we just close it on our own. And then we can just verify that it is in fact closed. So this is the old way. It has the exact same output, but this is really the preferred way. So you don't have to worry about closing it yourself. You don't have to remember this step. So it automatically closes. So this whole procedure using the with statement, you can use the with statement with other things. We're not going to learn about them here. The file opening and closing is the most common thing to use with a with statement, but it's not just with a with statement. But just to quickly talk about this with statement, this is called a context manager. So it's saying like within a certain context, something will be set during the program, and then out of that context, once we resume, normal programming will resume. So I just have an analogy in here. I just use the word within instead of with, but let's just say within a movie theater, say you buy a ticket to go to a movie theater, there's certain contextual rules that you follow, right, while you're in the movie theater that do not apply outside of the theater. So these rules just apply in the theater. So within a movie theater, you're expected to stay quiet, stay seated, and not use your phone. Now, when you exit the movie theater, so you watch your movie, you make sure you do these things, and then you can just return to normal, so you don't have to stay quiet, seated, and you can use your phone again. So this is the context. So the context here is a movie theater. It has its own rules over here. Now the context for this is that the file is open in this code block, and once you exit the code block, then the file is closed. So that is the context. This does appear in other aspects of Python. But for now, we're just going to deal with files. So that is the automating of opening and closing with the with statement.